Well, it is finally over. I literally just left the courthouse. I've gotten home, I sat down, and I'm ready to talk to you about everything. All of the things I've not been able to say for the last couple of years. And I'm going to ask two huge favors of you here. The first of which is if you haven't watched one of my recent videos, I'm going to put a playlist down below. I would really appreciate it if you would check out some of my recent videos. It's likely you haven't seen one of my videos in your feed for quite some time, and maybe you'll like what you see. And secondly, I'm going to ask you to make it all the way to the end of this video. This might likely be the very last video of mine you'll ever watch, and I would like it if you heard everything I had to say. So please, bear with me, and let me get all this out. Secondly, let me point out just how expensive all of this was. And obviously, I took money out of my bank account and I paid for it out of pocket. I'm not putting up a GoFundMe. I'm not e-begging here. I'm not asking you to bail me out. What I am saying is this cost tens of thousands of dollars to fight to get the outcome that we got. Is it a perfect outcome? No. But it's the one that we got, and it cost a fuckload to get there. Not only that, but I was advised by everyone to lay low, to live stream less, to make less YouTube videos, to say less things that could be taken out of context and used against me before we had a result, because you know from Reddit and 4chan that that's what they like to do to me. So I laid low for years. For almost 2 years. I barely made any videos. I barely live streamed. I planned to hit it running, but that cost me a small fortune and lost wages and lost ad revenue as well. So if at any point you have felt that maybe I got wronged in this situation and you want me to just help recoup that loss, you can become a channel member here by clicking the member button down below. You can subscribe to me on Twitch for $5 a month. I do have a Patreon, though I barely use it, but you can go throw a dollar at me there. Or more importantly, you can buy these meme t-shirts that I had built up. The link is going to be down below. I'll throw the link up here as well. They're pretty cool. I like these t-shirts. My t-shirts are on their way. $9 profit for each one, and the money is going to go to two major causes. The first of which is paying myself back for all the ridiculous amount of legal fees that I spent here, and 10% of every sale is going to Ukrainian relief, though we haven't picked the charity just yet. Obviously, I'll show the receipts on Twitter when the time comes. I should also say that those shirts are probably going to be very limited edition because people are really mad about them. So they're probably going to end up getting taken down at some point. If you're going to get one, I would get one ASAP. Now, here's why you clicked on the video. No, I'm not going to jail. Obviously, I'm not going to jail. Did I fuck up? Yeah, I did. Should I have ever been put in that situation to begin with? No. The state, the judge, everyone obviously understood that. And if you're the kind of person that thinks that I should have gone to jail, or you've heard some of these other rumors I'm going to dispel in this video, please understand how wrong you are about me. That the prosecutor, that the judge, that my lawyer, that everyone involved knows how wrong you are and made a decision based on how wrong you are about me. And if you were wrong about this situation, maybe you've been wrong about some of the other things you think about me as well. Maybe now's the time to reevaluate, okay? It's all I ask. Like, one of the most common memes that I heard that was just completely fabricated is that I shot towards a school, or I'm in a school zone. My house is not in a school zone. Look at Google Maps. The nearest school is miles away from me, and I was facing the opposite direction, so I didn't shoot at a school. That is just one of the many, many things that people take out of context and add to it and make believe in this crazy game of telephone where people make me out to be some bad guy, and then you and other people fall for it. Do not fall for their manipulation, please. Another insane thing I heard was that I invited him here, when that is the opposite of reality. I told him once he was in my town that if you come to my home, that I would be forced to defend myself. Do not come here. Like, even if you are completely tone deaf to sarcasm, even if you are completely oblivious to hyperbole and what it is, it was pretty evident to anyone with a fucking brain that I was telling this person not to come here. And the reason I told him not to come here is because he said when he did, he would make sure that it was the worst day of my life. Worse than when my parents molested me. Those were his words. They're all over YouTube. You can find them. I'm not going to put it here because this is the kind of guy who would use that clip as a reason to take down this video. So I'm obviously not going to give him that leverage. But for fuck's sakes, man, you take threats like that seriously. Anyone would. This is a person who had been stalking me online for months, threatening me online for months. This is a person who, in the middle of a pandemic, got on a plane and flew from where he lives in Atlanta, Georgia, to Fayetteville, Arkansas, for the sole purposes of harassing me in person and filming it for profit. That is not a good person. That's not a comedian. That's not a nice guy. And you combine that with the fact that this person told me that they were going to make sure it was the worst day of my life, worse than when I got molested. Obviously, you treat that person like the mentally ill motherfucker they are, right? You have to. And because of all of this, I was confident. My lawyer was confident. Hell, I even think the prosecutor was confident that if this went to court, I would walk away completely unscathed. That's why we got the deal that we got, right? Any jury who saw those videos, who saw those threats, who saw that harassment is probably going to side with me. And it's better for the prosecutor in this situation to get his victory than to have that court loss, I think. That's my opinion of what happened. I don't know for sure. I'm not that prosecutor. I'm not in his head. But that's what it seemed like it happened to me. And that seems to be what my lawyer thought as well. Now, I think anyone with a brain can agree that I should have never been put into that situation, but that doesn't mean I acted properly or perfectly in that situation. There are mistakes I made, and I want to own those mistakes. I wanted to own them that day, right? I wanted to come to Twitter and say, this is what I did wrong, this is what I should not have done, and I wasn't allowed to do that because it could have made my case far worse. My lawyer told me to shut up and lay low, and that's what I've done. But now it's over. The decision is made. The judge has signed off on it. And now I can admit all the fault I want. My first mistake was engaging with this person in any way on any level, right? The way I discovered this person even existed was by his fans coming into my stream, telling me that this guy was coming to my house. He was going to hurt me. He was going to harass me. And I reached out to mutual people and said, is this guy actually legit? Is this guy actually crazy? Is he actually crazy enough to do something like that? And they all told me, no, it's just trolling. It's just smokes and mirrors. He's not a crazy person. He actually won't do that kind of thing. And you know what? I made the mistake of believing him, and that was a stupid, stupid mistake. Every YouTuber I've talked to, every celebrity, every PR person all tells me, never engage. That's rule one of the internet, I think. Never engage, right, with these type of people or people who don't like you or say outlandish things to try to get a reaction. Don't engage. And the way that they choose not to engage is by pretending that they're better than other people, right? Like I've literally had a PR person say, you have to pretend that you're above these people. You have to be above these people. But I can't do that. Everybody is on the same level as me in my mind. I'm not better than anybody and nobody's better than me. We're all just people. We're all just organisms living on this wet rock, hurtling through space, man. I treated this person like a fellow human being. It did not have the intended results. And I fucked up. That was a fuck up on my part. I will not make that mistake again. Secondly, once this guy was in town and this guy was threatening me from my neighborhood, I should have fled. I should have left my house. I really should have. I considered it, getting a hotel and leaving, but I knew I couldn't take my dogs with me. I knew I couldn't take all of my property with me. And I was afraid of my house getting broken into, my dog getting hurt. I was afraid of that, so I stayed home, and that was a dumb fucking thing to do. I could have found a place, even if I just had to sleep in my car, that could have protected my dog. I could have given him to a friend or a neighbor. I could have let my house get burnt down. This is all just physical stuff. This doesn't matter. I can replace anything. My life is more important. My dogs, my friends' lives, my neighbors' lives are more important. That was a dumb thing to do to stay home. But the other reason I didn't leave my house is because I was talking to all these people who knew him. He's not actually going to show up. That's not why he's in town. He's not actually going to do that. You don't have to worry about it. He's not actually unhinged. He's not actually crazy. Turns out they were wrong. That was, again, stupid to listen to those people. And then once this guy was on my property, I should have went back to the first thing I discussed, the first mistake I made, which is not to engage. Didn't matter the fact that this guy was calling me every name in the book through my door. Didn't matter the fact that he was trying to pound my door down. None of that mattered, right? I should have called 911, retreated to the back side of the house where I would have been my safest, and waited for the cops to arrive. That's what I should have done. If you are ever in that situation, that's what you should do. People have long speculated as to why I opened the door and why I went out front, and I'll tell you why. In my PTSD rattled brain, I thought this person is here for me and only me. He doesn't give a shit about my roommate. He doesn't give a shit about the random repair guy that's in my house right now. He only wants to hurt me. So if I go out front, he can do whatever he wants to me, and he'll leave everybody else alone. That was my thought process. I opened that door to protect the people that were in my house and sacrifice myself. And for those of you who know what I think about myself, who know about my personal feelings about myself, know about the suicidal tendencies I've had in my life, that should make obvious sense, right? That's what I was thinking at that moment. However, that's not what I should have done. And you shouldn't do it either, right? Let the cops do their job and protect and serve. That's what you should do. But the biggest mistake I made, the mistake that I regret the most, is firing a warning shot. You know, I had some gun training. I'd gone to the range a few times with guns, not that weapon, but other weapons. You can see that on my YouTube channel. I knew that eventually there was a chance I would need to protect myself, or my roommate would need to protect us. And we prepared ourselves for that eventuality, right? I didn't prepare enough. Too many movies was running through my brain. There's no such thing as a warning shot. And what I can tell you is that you only pull the trigger on a weapon when you are prepared to kill, planning to kill, or you're in a safe place to do it, like a gun range. That's the only time you ever do it, right? There's a chance, however small it might be, that someone can get hurt otherwise. And that's obviously what I did wrong in this situation. And it has fucked me up every day. Every day. I've never been able to say how much it fucked me up on Twitter, how bad I feel about it, how awful I feel about it. I couldn't talk about the fact that I went door to door to apologize to my neighbors and friends in this area. I wasn't able to talk about any of that. I'm glad I can talk about it now, though. We do not pull a trigger on a weapon unless we intend to kill, or unless we're in a very safe place to do that. I don't do it. You don't do it. Nobody does it. Do you understand? It's a very stupid, stupid thing to do. If you take nothing else from this video, make sure you understand that it's only for Hollywood, that's only for the movies. And whereas I'm glad to admit these things, whereas I'm glad to take my lumps financially and PR-wise and on YouTube and on the internet and everywhere else, I do want to point out that I should have never been in that situation to begin with. I have no clue how to navigate a situation like that. I wasn't prepared for that. And even if I was prepared for that, or you were prepared for that, can you promise me you know exactly what to do and you would be able to do it in a high, tense, stress situation like that? Most of us are going to make mistakes, right? I literally am clinically diagnosed with a disease that makes stressful situations difficult for me. So, of course I was going to make a mistake there. That's why these people chose me. Because they knew I would. They knew it would make good internet, and they hoped that they would get clout and fame from it. That's why I was chosen. At the end of the day, I've never fought back for myself before. Right? This was a first for me. I've been abused by bullies on the internet, bullies in real life. I've been mentally and physically and emotionally and sexually assaulted, even by my own parents, and I never really fought back. I never really stood up for myself. This was the first time I ever did that, and I don't regret trying to stand up for myself. I do regret the results. I do regret the way I did it, right? Obviously. But I don't regret the fact that I finally grew a fucking backbone. I just wish it had played out differently, right? And more importantly, I'm just glad nobody got hurt. Not me, not the stalker, not anybody else. I'm just glad nobody got hurt, thank God. Now, for those of you who have made it this far and you're looking for the specifics, what the judge, my lawyer, and the prosecutor have agreed to here is called deferred adjudication. And basically, it kicks this whole thing down the road for 2 years. And at the end of that 2 years, it's very likely to get 346'd and go away. It will not be part of my record. It'll just basically disappear. And that's the best possible outcome for all things considered. We could have gone to court, but there's no guarantee that you'll win in the court situation, and it would be a horribly stressful thing to deal with. It could have been more damaging to my career, more damaging to the YouTube platform, more damaging to just my fucking sanity. Like, keep in mind, I have an anxiety disorder, and this looming over my head for the last 2 years has been my definition of a living hell. I've hated every second of it. It has affected every aspect of my life, and I'm just glad to have it be over. It is possible that by going to court we would have won. I think it's very likely. Even my lawyer thinks it was likely. I think even the prosecutor thinks it was likely. But that would have been months away. This way it's over, and I just fucking need it to be over. Right? Like, tear down whatever this tears down. Whatever the fallout is for it, that's the fallout, and I'll deal with it. I'm a survivor. That's what I do. I rebuild. I've rebuilt so many times in my life. I'll rebuild from this. I just needed to get to a point where I could fucking rebuild. And finally, we're there. To all of you that have stuck with me through all of this shit, thank you. God bless you. The positive messages from content creators and from fans and from friends has meant the world to me. I cannot thank you enough, because sometimes I get it into my mind that these people who hate me are correct and that I'm some sort of fucking super villain or something. And it really does a number on me. But with your positivity, your kindness, and your love, I mean, we're talking some of the biggest content creators on the platform reaching out to me to support me through this. With that kind of support and that kind of love, it made it possible for me to get through this, and God bless you for it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That said, I really want to hit the ground running again. I'm done lying low. I want to get back to 3 to 5 videos a week, right? Even if they're not even that good, just to put them out there for fun so that you can enjoy them. I want to get back to 3 to 5 streams a week, because you deserve that. There's people who've been subscribed to me on Twitch for 5 years, 6 years, who've been waiting for me to come back full time, and I want to come back full time. It's going to take me a little while to mentally prepare for that. I'm not going to lie. This has been bad. This has been hard on the old brain. But I want to fight for it. I'm not somebody who lets him close doors in his face very often. I knock them wide back open. You close this door on me, I'm going to pound on it until I open it up. That's who I am. So I'm not ready for this chapter of my life to close. I'm ready to get back at it, and I hope you'll be there. I want my YouTube videos to be funny and edgy and weird again. Even though I had to lay low and I couldn't do that for a while, I want them to be funny, edgy, and weird again. I want my streams to be funny, edgy, and weird again. Even though I was terrified that it would be taken out of context to mess with people or something, you know? But I'm done. I'm done letting those people rule my life. They've done as much damage as they can. Fuck it now. Fuck it. This is, for all intents and purposes, I think, the last big shot I have for this whole social media thing. And I don't want to let it pass me by. So we're going to give it a shot. That said, guys, I'll end this video the way I always do. I want to say thank you for sticking by me. Thank you for watching. Even if you hate me because of the things that have happened and you decide that this video is just horrible, thank you for hearing me out. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. I love you very much. And I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.